Hi guys, this is Danielle coming from Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson, and I want to talk to you about my 2016 Dyna Low Rider S. Alright, so we'll go from the front to the back here. At the front here, I have a Performance Machine fork brace on it, Moon's MC headlight and light bar on it. We're running a Banks Performance 2-piece replica T-Sport fairing. I used to have a Conley's one-piece fairing on it. It came to up about here. I felt like it hit me in the head a lot with the wind, so I went ahead and changed over to the Banks Performance 2-piece. I like the little flip on the top. It sends the wind right over my head. Full on with the Custom Dynamics turn signals on it that are amber when you turn, and then they run white, so they're super light. And then my favorite are the flow levers. Then moving on to the bars, I'm running a Sportster bar on it because I'm a smaller person and I enjoy my hands being closer together. And then 9.5-inch hard case risers on it, complete with a lovely rock form as well. Flush mount gas caps on it that are digital, and a thrash and bar bag. Now I have stock DLS internals in the front here. I used to run Legends. That's what I first had when I got the bike. I did experience a little bit of a Dyna death wobble going on. I went ahead and went back to the cartridge DLS internals that came stock with the bike. I found out that my Legends weren't necessarily adjusted correctly the first time, so I might be going back to the Legends. And it's a full candy custom, so it'll be more of a purple at night and then more of a fuchsia with sparkle in it during the day. I'm running a Thunderheader exhaust 2-in-1 with my stock Low Rider S intake on it. I used a Screaming Eagle tuner on it because if any of you guys know me, I like to blow some stuff up. And the factory warranty has really served me pretty well. So that's what I got going on there. And then to the rear, I'm running 14-inch RWD shocks in the rear. When I first got this bike, I had the stock Low Rider S shocks on it. I didn't really care for those, so I went to 13s. Also didn't really care for those. Now I go to 14. So if you see me riding, I tiptoe a little bit, but the fender gap looks real nice, doesn't it? All right, Moon's MC in the rear as far as the tail light goes on it. We have an integrated tail light on it and a lay down plate. And then last but not least, I've got a Saddleman tuck and roll step up seat on there.
How I got started riding. So I went on 2 bikes back home where I'm from in Maryland, and we went really fast, and I was told to jump off and get onto another one. These were sport bikes, and they started doing stunts on the road. It's kind of what got me into the idea of wanting to get into motorcycle riding myself. So I started riding on the back of bikes when I was young. I was about 17. I got on the back of somebody's sport bike, and they did wheelies and things like that, and I just got really hooked on the adrenaline of it all. When I moved out to California, I was 20. And I started dating somebody who had a bike. And we got on the back of his bike and we were going down PCH. It was a beautiful sunny day. Next thing you know, I'm hanging on for dear life. We're going 144 miles an hour. I can't keep my head straight, and I tap him because I'm just like, okay, this is too much. If I want to die on a bike, I'm going to do it at my own pace by myself and not on the back of somebody else's. So a week after that, I went out and I bought myself a Ninja 250. It was my first bike ever. I used to like sport bikes before I got into Harleys. And basically, we rode into a parking lot and I just said, teach me how to ride it. And I'd never driven a manual anything before. I just had this really big desire to want to learn how to ride my own bike. So went through the whole bunny hop, did the whole thing in the parking lot. After 15 minutes, I was running around in circles, teach me how to get in a second. And next thing you know, we're down PCH and I'm stalling at every leg because I don't know how to let the clutch out properly. And ever since then, I put 10,000 miles a year on each bike I've owned. So started on a Ninja 250, then I went to a Ninja 636, and then I started working at Harley. How I got into Harleys was actually that I didn't like them at all. I thought they were for old people and that they weren't cool, and I thought sport bikes were cool. And it's funny to fast forward, 4 years and see my beautiful bike that I built. So what had happened was I worked at a restaurant before, and I met somebody that left and went to a Harley-Davidson dealership called Bartell's, and I loved working with this guy. And I went in to tell him, hey, I'm going to work at a sport bike shop, and I need you to be a reference of mine. He said, why would you do that? Come work here. I said, Harleys are for old people. And he said, just try it. You'll change your mind. And he was totally right. So after working there for about 5 or 6 months, I ended up getting my Dyna Low Rider S. And I rode a lot of different bikes before I decided which one it was. I still hadn't ridden a bagger at the time. I still thought they were super heavy. I was used to a light bike, like 400 pounds. So I started on an Iron 883, was my first bike I ever rode. That was a Harley, then the 48, and then I started getting into bigger bikes. Before I started riding the Lowrider S, I rode a regular lowrider. It was that red candy flake. I think it was a 2015, and I just fell in love with the idea of it being a candy flake. The fact that it had dual disc brakes on the front, mag wheels on it, and the biggest motor that they made for the model year was just my cup of tea. I rode sport bikes and I like going fast and I like doing crazy stuff. So I had to get the best bike just from the gate. So for me, I bought this on July 24th of 2018, and I rode it 30-mile test ride. My boss called me, he's like, where are you? And I was like, I don't want to get off this thing. And I just fell in love with Harley. So ever since building my own bike, I tore it completely apart, painted it from Buck Wild out of here in Covina, and basically put everything on it. Ever since then, it just kind of, I've morphed from me loving off-roading to me loving this Harley and loving the career that I have. So a big part of me is about showing mostly little girls, but other women themselves, about what you can do if you set your heart and your mind to it. So you can do anything you want to do. I grew up not having any knowledge of Harleys or off-roading or any of those things. So it was just something I'm super passionate about doing now. So first trip I ever took on this was Babes Ride Out in, I think it was 2018. And that was a huge deal to me. We went out to Joshua Tree, and it's not that far, but for me it was a huge deal. And so I met up with one of my girlfriends, Jessica, and 4 other girls. We met at the shop and we rode out to Joshua Tree and we did moto camping, which is something I love to do. Had a great experience with that, and that was the biggest trip I ever did for that year. The following year we did Babes Ride Out up in kind of by Morro Bay. It was like Santa Margarita. And that was 250 miles. And on that trip, I really wanted to do it by myself. So I loaded everything on my bike and I headed out by myself. I took 250-mile route up through Taft, over through, I don't remember what the road was, but it was a one way, 80 miles. I remember taking a picture of the sign. It said no stops. I was like, I hope I make this on my own and don't need help, because there's no service too. Anyways, I made it to Babes Ride Out. I had a great time there. After that, COVID hit. And COVID was when I really started riding this thing. I still put 10,000 miles a year on it before that, but COVID, I first went to Arizona, I went to Vegas, and then after that, I've been everywhere as far as Oregon. We went up to do the Yosemite trip, we broke off, went up to Oregon, came back down the coast. I've been to 3 or 4 different states, I think, now on this bike, which is a really big deal to me. So that's kind of just how I got started into riding. It's a couple of places that I've been to. One of the major things that I really thought was super cool is I did an all women's track day on this bike, which was gnarly. They put me in class A. I had never really done a track day on a regular size bike. I did one on an 85, and they put me in the fast group with all the other girls on sport bikes, and I killed it. Like, I kept scraping the left side of my bike, my foot was flying off, I didn't know what I was doing, but it was so much fun. So I've done a lot of crazy things on this bike, you know, gone through the motor, gone through the transmission a couple times. Definitely buy your extended warranty, it's very much worth it. But yeah, that's basically my story of what I like to do with my bike. On this bad boy, I'm not sure, I kind of want to do a big fairing on the front with audio in it. I kind of am thinking about a tour pack too, but I also really want to get a Road King. So I have a Road King. I want to get a newer Road King, one of Milwaukee 114, and I want to build that. So as far as my Dyna goes, I'm pretty set on building it. I just want to ride further and further with it, would be my ultimate goal. But I love this bike. I love the color of it. I love the way it sounds. I love being a woman that gets to ride it. The reason why I painted it purple was because every other person I've ever known to have a Lowrider S is black. Like, everybody's bike's black. And I want you to know when you see me flying by you, like, holy, that was a chick. Like, that was a girl. Like, and I think that's a cool feeling to have. So anywhere I've ever gone, especially with like little girls or other women, they're just like, oh my God, look at that color. It's so pretty. It's so unique. And that's a big feature that I really like about this bike, is that it shows other women and other people in general, just you can do whatever you want to do. You can make your bike sparkly purple, or you can ride it to 4 different states if you want to. So I would really like to take the bike to Montana. So another big thing I got to do was I got to go to Sturgis for the first time this year. It was a really cool experience for me. When we were out there, I was able to ride I had a 2020 Road Glide Special, which was really cool. It was my first time riding without a helmet. That was a lot of fun. My hair was all fine and stuff, and that was really cool. So I got to ride, not too often, but it was a little bit later at night. Sturgis was a really great experience for me. It's so cool to watch what the Harley motorcycle community is about. I had no idea when I started working for Harley 4 years ago how cool people could be, and it's not just old people, or if it is, they're cool old people. It's not just like, you know, the ones you think they would be. They're more wild than me, which is saying something. So it's been a really cool experience to go to Sturgis. I'm going to go to the Four Corners Motorcycle Rally this upcoming weekend. I'm not going to be taking the bike, but still going to be going. So it's just really cool, all the doors that Harley's opened for me, and are able to go to different states and meet different people and have different job opportunities and things like that. So I'm just really grateful for walking into that shop that day and asking for somebody to be a reference for me, because it completely changed my life.
Thanks a lot for watching, guys. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button to keep up with all of our future Harley-Davidson content coming your way. If you're looking for a Harley-Davidson in Southern California, hit us up at Laidlaw's Harley-Davidson, where we have absolutely no dealer fees.